right, now still on that matter where the NEC is expected to reconvene today to just discuss that single item, which is the Section 89 panel report. We're now joined by reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones, who's stationed outside Luthuli House. Pule, we understand that the president's detractors will be mounting a serious fight today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since last week, there's been just so much pressure in regards to what step would the president take in terms of, challenging the reports. We've realized that there's also been different views that have been shared by some of those within the ANC NEC, such as the likes of Gweda Mantashe, who, shared their views around the report, saying it was badly written and wasn't assertive. But then again, you get those who, of course, being dubbed as presidential detractors, who are saying that the president must resign or step aside. A lot, of course, was around what step would the president take next in terms of trying to redeem his reputation in public. But, of course, like you've said, we now understand that he's planning to take the report to judicial review and, of course, challenge it. But at the very same time, one legal analyst says that this will not stop the parliamentary process on Tuesday when having to look into this report. Perhaps let's just take a listen to what he had to say around this.
The legal process of taking it on review will not stop the parliamentary processes. So even if the president goes today on an urgent application to court, setting the matter down, it will not stop what's going to happen on Tuesday. It might, if they say we sit with the matter today and the court makes a finding that the report is flawed today, then it will influence the process on Tuesday. But if the court doesn't sit today and actually handle the report, then Tuesday will still happen. So one needs to distinguish between the two processes, because the one is not interdependent. Obviously, I know Parliament wants to use the report in actually starting these impeachment proceedings against the president. But if the court comes and says, listen, the report was flawed, it will not stop Parliament, because this thing is out in the public. The panel has made a finding that the president has got a case to answer to. So that will not stop, because that is out in the public. So now people is now not going to worry about the legal process, especially the opposition parties. They will say, listen, there was a panel appointed by the speaker, and the speaker comes from your party. So obviously they cannot be biased towards you, because it's your speaker that appointed this person or this person's. So then it will happen. So Parliament will still, the wheels of motion is now in place, and whoever is behind it will now derive it in Parliament and say, listen, you've got a case to answer to. And the Section 89, we know that is a more stringent, tougher process to go through.
All right, so at least according to this legal expert, the process will go ahead tomorrow, irrespective of the president's options, perhaps petitioning the Constitutional Court on that matter and filing that review. But insofar as Luthuli House is concerned this morning, is there any movement of perhaps people just finalizing ahead of that all-important Nasrec meeting this hour, we believe?
Well, for now, Mfundo, all roads lead to Nasrec amid that National Executive Committee meetings that will take place, of course, a day after the NWC did take place. And, of course, in the political bloc is word that they are recommending that the report be challenged. But, of course, one analyst believes that the ANC shouldn't reject this report outright, but, of course, look inward as well in terms of how this has, dented the president's reputation and whether there's anything to answer to. She believes that this report should be studied thoroughly. But like I've said earlier, in the organization, it's just divided, twisted views as well. While some are saying the president should be held accountable, some are saying that the report should be challenged. And when you look outside of the organization, you get some, of course, groups such as SATU who are saying that the panel should be investigated. So you see already there's just so much, remarks that have been made publicly about this report. Perhaps let's just take a listen to what this analyst had to say regarding this matter.
I think it means something for the president insofar as it gives him an opportunity in terms of the public to redeem himself, but it also gives the opportunity of our judiciary to take very serious the legal implications that this kind of report has for the office of the president. But I think for the party more specifically, this particular rejection, without having gone through sort of the legal process to make a determination on whether or not these findings are true in law, I think it sends a very strong message about where the ANC party is at currently in being able to understand the very, very grave legal implications that this is having, not only for the president, but for the party itself. And I would have expected the party to welcome a review, then to make an outright declaration of a rejection, just because I think that signals a very critical and very important message about what it thinks about behaviors and conduct that may potentially err on the side of criminality. And that rejection for me says a lot about where the party is at, specifically around its idea of renewal and taking seriously misconduct within the party.